What makes you scared of love? My answer to sum it up was fear. Because all the lessons that brought on upsets and feeling massive amounts of regret left me swimming through an ocean of hopelessness with no faith while emotionally homeless and using addiction as a security blanket. I developed coping mechanisms that I thought would send me outside of my mind, but my thinking only went further into negativity. And as self-doubt exposed itself, it would feel like my heart at every angle was sinking, and I'd start allowing those things to deplete my account of emotional wealth. See, I spent all these years trying to defend the time I've wasted, and in some of my most vulnerable moments, I let some undeserving ass niggas get a taste and worked overtime to negate my own feelings. It's funny. I thought that only broken bones and illnesses was the reason people needed healing until I started feeling something much greater than the usual depression, and making detrimental promises was looking a lot like people pleasing, which was one of those things that needed to be addressed. And fighting with old versions of me taught me a couple lessons on stress, and actually most of the time now I can handle the test, but some days in this single womanhood it feels like drowning, and other days it feels like I'm climbing that self-love ladder, but these desires for more are steady building like the developing fullness of one's bladder because of things from my past that I left has now left me feeling small, and I'm piecing together a heart that had been shattered, like scattered all over the place like a shotgun to brain equals matter. Not one bit of it equilateral, and as a matter of fact, all the ones hurt in the process, including me, are now damaged collateral. Now that's a pain that actually cuts deep, and for a moment those wounds might still bleed. So what I've come to realize in my experience is that some of the worst pain is the pain that can't be seen. So what's crazy to me is I used to cut into my flesh, and people would still look at me and have no idea that at certain points in my life my only goal and hope was death. One thing that I know now that I didn't know before is that I get to change the thoughts and how I manifest in order to bring more, whether it's more wealth or more love or more things enjoyable. I forgot the rest of the. That's crazy. Yeah, or more peace, and not to disregard that with your thoughts you can create even the smallest piece of grief that's capable of bringing about mischief. That's mischief, but I wanted to get fancy. And speaking of fancy, it's really nice seeing me here where the trees look like they're dancing, liberating myself as I'm prancing across love meadows. Fuck a stiletto. I'll get barefoot in the ghetto so that I can map out a clear perception of how I want this shit to go. My journey has been quite ugly. And it wasn't until I opened myself up to love that I got to taste something sweeter than a glass jar of raw honey. My point is, fear is a created illusion. And with your thoughts, fear is a created illusion. And we can make this experience what we choose, and I'm choosing to love on me without refusing. No more refugee energy, had to lose it and flow like a melody in cadence to the music. Solve the equation like a cube Rubik's. I thought that was cute, but it's deeply rooted. If you wake up with that same pain and use that as your guiding muse, in the end, it is the fear that will lose. Thank you so much. I'm not scared. Lions and tigers.